Week 1, Pittsburgh Steelers on the road at MetLife Stadium. Justin Fields welcomes his former team who said, "You're benched. Sorry, pal. Hate to do it to you." And then, afterwards said, "Okay, we'd welcome you back with open arms." You wouldn't, pal. You wouldn't. At the Jets. We'll go separate here. You got them a win, 1-0, 0-1.
I got the Steelers starting 1-0, victory over the Jets.
All righty. 1-0. I'm going 1-0 as well. I look at the Jets as a team that I am sorry, my friend, but just ain't going to happen. Just ain't going to happen. Seattle in week 2 welcomes DK Metcalf as, DK says, "What's up, guys? New quarterback, cool. New system, cool. New replacements for me, cool. Come to Pittsburgh. We'll show you what's up." Pittsburgh Steelers, week 2. I'm going to win on this one as well. 2-0 for the Steelers on my side. Yours?
Yep, I'm right with you. I think this is the next revenge game here. DK home opener. Steelers take a win, get out to a very not unconvincing 2-0 record.
2-0 record. Unconvincing 2-0 record. It still stays pretty unconvincing in New England. I don't care what you say about Mike Vrabel or the development of Drake May. This team is, just plain and simple, not very good. New England Patriots in week 3. What do you got?
This is my first trap game of the year.
Oh, okay.
I think they go into London 2-1 because they're going to drop a really disappointing game in New England.
Wow. Okay.
Hope I'm wrong.
I think you might be right. And they're overlooked. I just don't. It's early. It's very early in the season to say that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to find that trap game and lose the momentum like this. Oh. It just feels like if that happens, which you might be right, but if it happens, the calls for Tomlin's job will start so much earlier than they have in so long.
Immediately.
It would be brutal. I'm saying 3-0 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's hope for the goodness of us.
I'm rooting for you to be right. I want to be so clear about that.
3-0, 2-1 heading into Ireland. Minnesota. Last time they played Minnesota was the last time they played overseas. London, 2013, lost. Unfortunately, I don't see a change in this time. Minnesota, to me, dude, is going to be just ready to go. The easiest bets that you can make in the NFL is who's staying in London longer. So whoever shows up earlier, going to win that game. I'm thinking this is the first loss of the season. Not the best way to welcome yourself to Ireland. Art Rooney's not going to be real happy about it, but I'm going to loss 3-1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to drop this one. Unfortunately, I think the Vikings are just too good. Of any of those first 4 games, if I were to bet any money on them losing just one of those games, it's definitely against the Vikings in Ireland. So that's going to be a tough one. So yeah, I'd have them at 2-2 at that point.
I agree, and as I try to do that, just doesn't look good. All right, we come back the bye week at home against Cleveland. Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. I don't know what to make of it. I'll let you go first on this one after the bye week. Cleveland in week 6.
This is a win for the Steelers for sure. I imagine this might be the first time one of the rookies from the Cleveland Browns starts a game. Will be my bold prediction for it. But yeah, Steelers get the win, improved to 3-2 after taking down Gabriel or Sanders.
You're telling me that does Kenny start? Is he the starter up until this point?
Maybe. Yeah, no. I want him to be so he gets pulled, I guess, to be a petty person here. But sorry, Kenny. But yeah, I do think he's, in my eyes, still going to be the front runner. So yeah, I think he starts the first 4 weeks then.
Okay. All right. Week 7. Oh, did I pick on that one? I did not pick on that one. Look at Cleveland at home is a win almost every single time. It's Cleveland on the road that you got to worry about. To me, it's a win. Pittsburgh Steelers, in my eyes, are 4-1. Looking pretty good. Hype is real. At this point in the year, people are going to start talking Aaron Rodgers MVP. Is he going to be an MVP? No. But that's just the hype that ESPN is going to toss on him because he's the loudest name in all of football. At Cincinnati, prime time, week 7. I don't know about this one. This one to me is a scary game. The first test of the season. outside of Minnesota, but that's a weird test. The Steelers, I think, go into Cincinnati and lose. It stinks to say, but I just think at that point, Cincinnati's going to have some sort of momentum, and I'm going Cincy on this one. I'm going Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-2 at this point in my schedule.
I'm with you. I think the Bengals will still be doing their thing, being the early Super Bowl contenders from the AFC. I find it very difficult to believe that they will go in there in week 7 and get the win. Maybe later in the season when Cincinnati comes to Acrisure. But yeah, I would have them taking the L there, and I'd drop them down to 3-3 there.
Oh, 3-3 for Jacob Bunturi. At home, once again, hosting primetime and an Aaron Rodgers opponent here. The Green Bay Packers come to Pittsburgh. I'll let you go first on this one. Aaron Rodgers revenge, number 2.
I think this is a win for the Steelers. I think a theme that is developing here, and I firmly believe in, is that it's going to just be a back and forth sort of whiplashy sort of season. So I have the Steelers getting the win at home here, improving to 4-3, and we are 1 week removed from talking about how that team is maybe tanking for the number 1 pick, and now we're talking about how they could win the AFC North or something all of a sudden after beating Green Bay. I think it's going to be so topsy-turvy.
Okay. I think it's also a win. I think it's a defying win, but I think the momentum, and I agree with you. I think right here is like when you really start to talk, okay, Steelers are it. This is real. The hype's there. The ESPN's blowing up. All the national media's screaming as loud as they can for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they pull it off because of Rodgers. I look at it and go, you're gonna win the 2 revenge games. Like, revenge games are wins. This is just what they are. And Rodgers is gonna get his revenge game. I'm looking at it. So then next week, Indianapolis. In my eyes, this is the trap game. This is the big trap game. Indy's not a good team. I don't expect them to be a good team. I expect them to beat the Steelers. I don't look at Indianapolis as a team that the Steelers are going to look at fairly, and this is the first time that we're talking about them overlooking somebody. I'm going Indy.
And I think you're very, very fair of you to have that as the trap game. Since I already have my trap game coming early on in the season, I think they take their lesson here, and I think they get the win, especially because they're playing the Colts at home. I'm going to give the Steelers the benefit of the doubt here. Have them getting a win might be very ugly of a win. But then they improve to 5-3 because of it.
5-3 both ways here. You're on the road, LA Chargers. I'll say this: there's no easier stadium to play in than one that the Chargers are also playing in. Your pick here.
Steelers on the road here, just for the exact reasons you already mentioned. It feels like every time they are around, the Chargers very rarely get the benefit of a home field advantage, unfortunately for them.
Yes.
So I think the Steelers walk in, terrible towels are flooding the stadium, and they get another win. And now here's the momentum's rolling here at this point. They're up to 6-3.
Yeah, look at 6-3 is a great place to be. I think this is a back-to-back loss for the Steelers. It's a tough spot to be. I hate that I'm doing it because back-to-back losses is where things start to go awry, but I'm sorry, but I just don't look at the Pittsburgh Steelers as a 6-3 football team. Like, they should be, but I think 5-4 fits them a little bit better where we sit today. And look at Najee. There's just, you can't tell me that you don't picture right now Najee Harris sitting there post game with like the perfect "F-U Steelers" quote that he just lets off and then makes a big deal of after we make a big deal of it. It's just the storyline that we already have written. That's
a little karma.
That's for the Steelers, I guess.
For the Steelers, maybe,
for the Steelers. Cincinnati at home in week 11. I had them losing in the jungle, which they usually win in the jungle and then lose at home. I'm flipping it up this year. I think they win at home. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers move to 6-4, go 1-1 against Cincy.
Yeah, your craziness here. I think they win at home because I'm with you. I think they are. I see the Steelers being a good home football team this year. And I think that continues when the Bengals come in week 11 and they push it to 7-3. And don't worry, the foreshadowing, the implosion happens later, but 7-3, we're going to keep riding it.
Then look at it gets rough after this next one. Chicago, the Windy City, 1 p.m. I have no faith in Caleb Williams yet. I'm sorry. Just that team is still young. A lot of holes. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think the Bears are a good football team. I'm going Pittsburgh in this one. There's one thing that I think Steelers fans will learn very quick that week, and that is Aaron Rodgers owns the city of Chicago, and he's made it known so many times. That's a win. 7-4 on my side for the Steelers.
I'm with you. I will say I think there is potential. Just this is a game that if they are winning and if they do come into this game, what would that be, 7-3 at that point? I think this could very much set up a potential trap game for them. But I agree with you. I'm not sold on Caleb Williams. The Bears do very little to impress me right now. That being said, I think the Steelers then would win in Soldier Field, getting them to 8-3. And now we're like, whoa, is this team a Super Bowl contender for real?
And at this point, we are actually having that conversation, but then they go to Buffalo, which is a brutal one. I'll let you go first on this.
Yeah, this is a tough one because, again, we talk about it the whole week before. I'm projecting and how the Steelers can go in and make a statement in the AFC by beating a fantastic Buffalo Bills team, and they just, again, will come up short, and they will drop to 8-4 because Buffalo is just a powerhouse of a team.
Yeah, Buffalo is not a team the Steelers are going to win. Not this year, I don't think. Look, at Buffalo, to me, MVP of the league. Technically, I guess Lamar should have won it. And you look at it, and they only got better. They're going to be a team that beats the Steelers. They're going to be a team that makes. To me, the Steelers are not beat the Bills ready. They're close. They're quarterback in a couple of positions away, but right now they are not beat the Bills ready. Baltimore on the road, the first of those matchups this season. I'll let you go first on this one too, because I think I went 2 in a row. So I'll let you handle Baltimore.
Oh, thank you, sir. This is going to be another tough one. I think the Steelers are going to lose this one too. And this is, unfortunately, it would drop them down to 8-5 at that point. But I think they're going to have a really hard time. I think Lamar is going to once again be in the MVP conversation. That feels almost like a guarantee if he stays healthy. So, yeah, I think the Ravens are just going to be another huge challenge for the Steelers to try to overcome. And I don't think they're quite there yet as a roster, at least at this point. Talk about the schedule being released yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go the opposite of you here. I think the one sweep and I'll foreshadow this. I'll give it away right now.
Let's go.
I think the one sweep the Steelers have this year is against Baltimore. I think they sweep them. Maybe they sweep Cleveland. We'll get there in a second, but Baltimore, I think they pull off both. These are going to be the games that decide if the Steelers go to the playoffs. These are going to be the games that decide if Pittsburgh's a wild card or a team on the outside looking in, talking about how it's time to blow it all up. That's where they're at. I think they beat Baltimore and move to, we both got them. We both got them at 8-5 right now, which is not terrible. Miami, Monday night in Pittsburgh. There are a lot of games that you could say weigh heavily in Pittsburgh's side. I don't think any of them weigh heavier than Miami in September or in December on Monday night when you know it's going to be cold and snowy and nasty, and Tua is going to be shaking in his boots, my friend. No chance Miami comes into Pittsburgh and wins. I'm going easy win for the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 15.
I don't feel as confident as you. I honestly admire how confident you are in that week 15 victory. I think because of where I have the Steelers coming from, week 13 and 14, it's shaky ground. And because of that, I do think this is going to be a very, very, maybe their only, well, no, this is going to be a tough home loss for them, which will drop them to 8-6. No, 8-6.
8-6.
And it's going to be disappointing because they shouldn't lose this game. They should dominate. They should have the upper hand, but it's going to be a tough one for them. So 3 in a row, I'd have them losing week 13 through 15.
Yikes. Big yikes. All right. Detroit the next week on the road. Thought this game was going to be Thanksgiving. Turned out it wasn't. Thank you. Win or loss? What you got here?
This 4 in a row. Detroit's. I think they are going to be a powerhouse in the NFC as well. And I think if that is the case, they are going to be rolling. They'll probably be red hot at that point in December. The Steelers are going to be reeling at that point, trying to figure out if they could scrounge into a wild card spot. But the Lions are going to be too much for them in week 16.
You got 4 in a row here.
4 in a row.
This is 24 all over again. Why a bad year for the Pittsburgh Steelers here as they're 8-7 in Jacob's eyes. I got a loss here as well. I'm sorry. Detroit's a powerhouse, man. They lost their coordinators. They're still going to do it. I think this is a rough loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got them at 9-6. You got them at 8-7 going into the final 2 weeks of the season here. Cleveland, week 17 on the road. What do you got?
The streak is snapped here in week 17. Thank goodness. And we all breathe a collective sigh of relief as the Steelers finally get a win and hang on to hope of a playoff spot, wild card spot, whatever you want to call it at that point. But yeah, they're going to get the win there, and they're going to get their 9th victory of the season there.
Okay. I think I got a little too optimistic early in the front of this, and I find myself staring at the Steelers record at 9-6 going. The Steelers always lose a couple of unknown what are you doing games in December. And I think this is the one. I didn't think it was going to be the one, but this is the one. I think the Steelers go to Cleveland and lose. And it's a tough one. I got them at 9-7. You got them at 9. Well, we're both 9-7 going into Baltimore at home. Date and time to be decided. 9-7 before we even make a prediction. That does not win the AFC North, correct? You're not playing for the AFC North in this game, are you?
Correct. Yeah, I think they're playing for one of the final wild card spots. They're playing for their lives.
Okay. And with that said, I'll ask you.
I think they will win.
Oh,
because I would guess, like 24, the Ravens already have a playoff spot secured. So we're not going to see an entire first team of Baltimore Ravens. So the Steelers can get that 10th win and sneak into the playoffs, and we'll be deja vu and all over again talking about can they get a win in the first round of the playoffs.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I have them the same way. 10-7 is not how I expected the Steelers to do this season, but I'm going to be very honest with you. It looks good. Like, it looks good on paper. 10-7 to me is like, all right, you won what you should have. You lost what you should have. It's a good spot to be in. 10-7, you think you just said it gets them into the playoffs?
I think it does. I think it's going to be close all season long, especially if they have any sort of dips or poor stretches after the bye week. But yeah, I think that's 10 wins can get them into the playoffs. I think it'll be a wild card spot though.